When installing the RATH distribution module and a supervisor board, we have a couple of different connections that need to be made, especially when we're using our 2-hour fire-rated CI cable. Now first, you'll notice that the distribution module has individual ports that are on each card. We provide RJ45 style pigtailed cables. These cables plug into the individual RJ45 ports on the circuit cards. The type of port that's being put out on each individual wire pair of the RJ45 style cables is on a cross-reference grid on the top. For example, on this one we have the cable plugged into port 01 through 04. We take a look on our cross-reference grid and we see where there is a dot under SLT. SLT is single line telephone. So we have 4 ports of single line telephone available on this cable. Now, since we're using the RATH supervisor board, we're going to take these 4 ports and go to the back side of the supervisor board. We're going to lay the individual pairs into the 110 style connector that is on the back of the supervisor so that our connections are going from the distribution module to our supervisor board. It's done with standard convention on the color coding with blue, orange, green, and brown. Now of course we need a 110 style termination tool in order to punch down so that the wires are seated properly on their insulation displacement connection. For the purposes of this instruction, we're just going to forego that part. So, to bring us to date, we now have our 4 ports that are on 01 through 04 appearing on ports 1 through 4 on the front of the supervisory module. Since we have that done, our next step is to get our port from the front of our supervisor module out to our individual station cables. Now along with the supervisor module, we provide pigtailed RJ11 connections. Each of these is a single wire pair that has an RJ11 end and a pigtailed end that is just the wiring that's sticking out. So, in order to extend this port out to our individual call station, we plug it into the appropriate port on the front of the supervisor module, and then we're going to take the other end of the wiring and we are going to connect it via conventional means out to our CI cable. So the single pair CI cable actually has a red and a black connector inside. We will use port 1 for this example. Okay? Take the wiring from port 1, separate it. Okay? Take the wiring, the CI cable run that's going up to our station, and we are going to connect these together via whatever splicing means you decide is appropriate. It can be punched down on a 66 block, a 110 block, it can be spliced using Scotch locks, wire nuts, whatever is going to work for you, whatever you have and that you're most comfortable with. As far as getting that termination from there all the way up and into our call station. On the call station end, we've provided biscuit jacks along with each of the call stations. The biscuit jacks have screw terminals that are inside that are color coded. For a single pair telephone, we use the red and green connection. Our devices are not polarity sensitive, so you can connect the red and black wires from your pigtailed port that's connected up to the supervisor module through to the cable and have it appear at the biscuit jack in either polarity. Then simply slide the CI cable into the channel, clamp the end on, and then plug your 2400 series device into that.